Hello and welcome to SolarQuotes podcast episode 28.
Yes.
How are you, Ronald?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
Happy days are here again.
Why is that?
Because they have unshit the Victorian solar home rebate scheme. Hopefully.
Yes. Good news for Victorian solar businesses that haven't gone bankrupt in the past few months. The Victorian government belatedly announced that it was upping the amount of rebates quite substantially initially, that it would do every month. So this is good news. We've been waiting months for this. Thank you, Solar Victoria. I feel like I'm saying thank you to someone because they've stopped hitting me.
Yeah, well, didn't I say that if they fixed things, I wouldn't come down upon them with righteous fury and vengeance? Something like that?
I think you did, yeah.
Damn. We're still not 100% certain they won't mess things up, but hopefully with the increased number of people getting the subsidy, things will sort themselves out, fingers crossed.
So September the 2nd, instead of just releasing 3,333 rebates, which last month were snapped up in 90 minutes, they are releasing the best part of 10,000 rebates over the month. I think it works out at about 7,000 on the 2nd, which is Monday.
That's 6,700.
6,700, another 2,000 odd.
Nearly 3,000.
In the middle of the month. So that's, yes, that's right. So that's nearly 10,000 rebates. So that's 3x increase. So that should go some of the way, or maybe even all the way to satisfying that pent-up demand.
Yep.
Then the month after, they're releasing
5,000 something.
5,000 rebates going forward for a couple of months, and then it starts decreasing in January.
Yes.
But they're releasing them every 2 weeks.
Good.
Yes.
That makes more sense. Of course, it makes more sense not to have the cap in the first place. It doesn't make sense at all. It's a poorly designed scheme, but
it is a poorly designed scheme. They have hopefully fixed it. We'll see what happens in practice.
I think they'll be snapped up very quickly in the first month, but then maybe after that people will see, oh yeah, there's no need to rush. We can take some more time.
Now, my only worry is that, you know, maybe it's good in theory, maybe it doesn't work in practice, and it needs to get tweaked again. One thing the Victorian government have proven is that they don't respond quickly to the real world implications of their policy. So fingers crossed it'll all go well. Fingers crossed the solar companies in Victoria that have been struggling like hell, laying off staff, cutting their overheads to the bone, will now have enough confidence in the future to start rehiring some of the really good guys and girls that they've had to let go.
So how is the Victorian government helping the people they've driven out of business?
They are giving them free training in how to run a small business.
Oh,
straight up.
Interesting. How does that help when you don't have a business anymore thanks to their behaviour?
Yeah, good question.
Yes.
Other
Must
thing,
not strangle, said I wouldn't punish them.
be nice.
Okay.
Before we leave Victoria, I just want to talk about inspections. There's a very stringent, it seems like 100% inspection regime happening on installations that have been done under the Victorian Solar Homes programme. They're being very, very anal about exclusion zones. So exclusion zones are generally a 200 millimetre zone around the edge of the roof. And
20 centimetres.
Yeah, and your solar panels are not allowed to be in that zone, generally. Depends on a few things, but that's the general rule. And I've seen people getting pinged because they're 190 millimetres away from the edge, which seems a bit mean.
No, there are standards. They're there for a reason, and people have to comply with them. That's very important, isn't it? Don't you agree?
That is important.
Yeah. No exceptions, ever.
This is a picture from Solar Victoria's homepage on, I think it was Tuesday. I found
maybe one exception.
So on the homepage of Solar Victoria's website, you can see the solar panels hanging over the gutter.
Oh, there's another gutter down there. It doesn't matter.
You can see clamp along here, which is totally out of the clamping zone. So this is like a springboard. The wind hits that, the thing's going to flex. Your cells are going to crack, and you're certainly very unlikely to get warranty on that panel.
Yeah.
I pointed this out on a Facebook group called Crap Solar. And within, I think, 10 minutes, that picture had been taken down from Solar Victoria's homepage.
It's straight out hanging over the edge of there. That's not 19 centimetres. That's negative 10 centimeters. That's terrible. That's shocking.
Two interesting takeaways I get from that is one, I just think it's a good illustration of what happens when people that know very little about the solar industry are hoisted upon an industry and then start telling the industry how to do things.
Yes.
Yeah, that is always going to cause problems. The other interesting thing I think is, what is the other interesting thing? Is how quickly they reacted to me pointing out on the crap solar industry Facebook forum that there was a very questionable system on their webpage. They
yes. Or it might have just been somebody who actually knew what they were doing. That one person came into work and said, "Hey, what's this?"
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, so good news in Victoria. We'll learn by this time next week, we'll learn how the initial 6,700 rebates have gone, how quickly they got snapped up. Watch this space. And moving on. Here's one you wrote, Ronald.
Oh yes, 25 years for Hyundai solar panels. That's a 25-year product warranty. These are not as rare as hen's teeth are more common than people think, because every hen has one when it hatches. But anyway, 25-year product warranties are almost the best product warranty you can get. The longer the product warranty, invariably the better the quality of the panel. And Hyundai is confident enough in their 300-watt 60-cell panels to give them a 25-year product warranty. That's excellent news. It also applies to their 72-cell 360-watt panel. Normally they don't go on home roofs, but they can. So, the really interesting thing is how cheap these Hyundai panels are with this quarter of a century product warranty.
And it's warranted by, although they're imported by an importer called Supply Partners, which is a solar panel wholesaler, they do have a letter from Hyundai saying that Hyundai is the entity that is responsible for the warranty. So even if something happens to Supply Partners, something would have to happen to Hyundai Australia for your warranty to not be honourable.
Yes.
Is that the right word?
No.
No.
Not be honoured.
Honoured, that's the word.
Yes. Don't do a Japanese accent when talking about Korean things. There's a small amount of bad blood for some reason. If you read a history book, it might mention it. Anyway.
So these are the cheapest solar panels in Australia with a 25-year product warranty.
Yes, I think the next cheapest are REC, but you only get 25 years if you go through an installer they approve of.
Did you know there's a tool on the SolarQuotes website that lets you compare solar panel specifications and retail prices side by side?
I actually used it for this article.
Look at that. It's called the SolarQuotes Panel Comparison Tool.
Yep.
Scroll to the bottom of any page on SolarQuotes, click on Compare Solar Panels, and you will eventually get to this tool, which is under-promoted. And then you can click a button on there where you can sort them by various things, including price. And then you can click another button where you can graph them. Here's a graph I've pasted together from 4 different screens because it scrolls horizontally.
Yep.
And that red arrow there is the cost, the retail cost, which is about 32% more than the wholesale cost, just saying.
Yes.
Of Hyundai solar panels with a 25-year product warranty. Pretty good.
Yeah, 25-year product warranty. Interestingly, they also have a 30-year product warranty, performance warranty, which is longer than a 25-year usual. But yes, it's product warranty I recommend looking at.
So of all the panels on the table, they're right over to the far end. So here you've got the really expensive SunPower X series, LG Neon R's, crazy expensive panels. The nearest one with a 25-year warranty, if you get it installed by one of their recommended installers, is REC, which is here.
Yes. We're going to put
pretty good.
We're going to put SolarWatts on the panel. Jono, do you have any idea what SolarWatts costs at the moment?
I do. They'll be about there.
Right. Okay. I will point out, though, these babies have higher efficiency, so they'll take up less space on your roof. So if you want to cram as many solar panels in as possible, you can pay a premium for the most efficient ones. Their efficiency, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not up there with the pricier ones. So that's one consideration. That's what you can't have. It's not magic. You can't have everything. It's just extremely good.
Did you know that the retail price of a SunPower X Series X22 is 3 times that of a Phono Solar Hyperion?
Yeah, but that is like for rich people. They deliberately, it's a Rolls Royce of solar panels. I don't know what that means. To me, a Rolls Royce is an expensive thing that breaks down a lot. But anyway, and costs a lot to repair. But that's not the case with these panels. These panels last a long time. They're just very expensive. You get them if you have a lot of money and you want the most efficient stuff.
When did your Rolls Royce last break down?
Let's see. I built a Rolls Royce with my uncle in Holland when I was 5 years old. It was made out of plastic bricks. And it stayed in Holland, so it's probably still in good shape.
Good stuff. Shall we go on to worst review of the week?
Yeah.
This is for a company called More Green Energy, who actually are one of the sponsors of my favourite rugby league team.
Oh, so
Eastern Suburbs, aka the Roosters. So let's have a look if they've kept the Roosters name strong. Initial customer service was good and very responsive. It's looking all right so far. I was concerned that no site inspection was carried out and only a very basic Google Earth image was used for the design. But I didn't know better at the time and was relying on the solar designer to do their job. We signed the contract and after that the service went downhill. The system was meant to be installed in January, but it took till August for the installation to be carried out. We had independent advice telling us that the specified system was completely unsuitable due to site conditions. Jeez. We had to change panels, inverters, and size of system. Now, they ended up getting an N-phase system, so I imagine they went from a string system to an N-phase system. It was a 3 kilowatt N-phase system, and they paid $4,800 according to the review. Finally, after more chasing and 45 emails and as many phone calls, we had the system installed a few weeks ago. Installer was fine, punctual and responsive. However, we cannot install a smart meter. I think she means net meter. It doesn't have to be smart. An export meter that lets us feed back into the grid without major upgrade to our electrical board, which is something that we simply cannot afford. So it sounds like they need to replace their switchboard, which is a fairly expensive job, thousands of dollars. Because it's not compliant, and you generally need a compliant switchboard to put a new meter in. We wish we had known this before we installed the system. Well,
of course,
that's
one of job.
One of the many things they have to check is that the switchboard is compliant, is up to the standard needed to have solar and have your new export meter. Now here's the bit that's a bit worrying. She says the system itself is performing well, but because we aren't home during the day, during the week, and cannot feed back into the grid, we feel like this isn't working as planned. Now, I'm pretty confident that if you haven't installed a solar meter, you're not allowed to switch the solar system on.
Yeah, that's generally the rule these days.
Now, this is an N-phase system, so you could configure it for zero export. But even then, I still don't think you're allowed to switch it on unless there's a solar meter there, because it could...
Anyone could switch it...
Reconfigure it to export.
Yeah.
So that's... it's a sorry tale.
Concern, definitely.
I wish we would have been given all the information we needed to make the right decision. Well, I'd just like to say this lady didn't go through SolarQuotes. I mean, this is a solar installer that, according to the review, hasn't inspected the property, hasn't done all the checks that they should have done before whacking the system on. Not great. Not a great story. Should we go on to a better review?
Yes, I'm getting sad.
Now, these are guys called Keen to Be Green up in mostly Brisbane, Gold Coast. I think after a lot of research, decided to go with Keen to Be Green, largely due to their experience, other reviews, and quality products. He liked the fact that they were a premier LG supplier. They can provide one of the best panels at a competitive price. Yep, very good panels, LG. I decided to go with LG 340 watt panels due to the full 25-year warranty, product warranty that is, and Fronius inverter, nice system, 7.48 kilowatts capacity, and they added a smart meter so they can monitor usage and run reports. Solar analytics would have been even better in my opinion, but hey. Sales process was easy but artsy. What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe
lots of performance.
Lots of performance, yes. Maybe they meant the art of sales, possibly.
Maybe. Professional quote detailing estimated system output, good use of near maps to show how the panels would look, and to identify potential shading, e.g. stink pipe that was cut down during installation. Now, if you're cutting a stink pipe in Queensland, you have to have a plumbing license.
Maybe they have one.
I'm sure the installer had a plumbing license. Big fines if you don't. A few issues during installation, as you do, but were sorted out promptly. Installation crew were great and cleaned up after finishing. There is good back office support. That's something that's often missing from the really cheap quotes,
Yes.
trying to get support after
Yes.
the thing's been installed.
You can't get any support in your back office from the cheap ones.
Exceptional performance of the LG panels on Fronius inverter, considering it's an east-west orientation, would certainly recommend Keen to be Green to anyone.
Good.
Nice one, Keen to be Green. Should we see where they rank on our
let's have a
odds ranking tool? In the top 26% of all installers on the SolarQuotes website, with that minimum number of, I think, 25 reviews.
Do you get a handicap for being in Queensland?
You should do. Now here's a really interesting one. USC to save $100 million with solar and energy storage. Now hang on, you said you can't save money with batteries. So how does this work?
One, you can save money with batteries under the right circumstances, such as the Hornsdale Reserve or the big Tesla battery, because that's the way it's used is appropriate. Homeowners can't use their batteries at the moment that way, so no, that doesn't work. There's no battery there, it's just energy storage. Totally different.
What kind of energy storage if it's not a battery?
Big tank of water.
How does that work?
Okay, Queensland, it's a bit hot, so they've got a big tank of water, they have an air conditioner, they cool down the water while the sun is shining and producing electricity, and they use that cooled water to cool down the campus. And that apparently saves them a vast amount of money.
So it's like the opposite of a hot water tank. They store cool water instead of hot water.
Yep.
And they run the cool water through the air conditioning system. So yeah, very, very smart. Apparently USC, 40% of their electricity bill is air conditioning.
Yes, it's stinking hot sometimes there.
And instead of using a very expensive battery, I think we worked out for the equivalent size battery, it would be at least $14 million. And this whole project was $12 million.
Yes.
So they just have a big tank of water with some cooling system on it, which would be much, much cheaper, would last a lot longer, won't degrade, and would be pretty efficient because you're missing out converting to chemical energy and then back to electrical energy and then the electrical energy into cooling energy. You're just storing the cool and then using the cool directly.
Far more efficient. And you can use a smaller air conditioner because you've got all that cool water sitting there.
Yeah.
That saves money. And they say it'll save $100 million over 25 years. That's like a 24% return annually. That's astounding. It's too small. They should have made it bigger.
That's smart. Who would have thought a university would do something smart?
They do smart things all the time and stupid things too, so it sort of evens out.
Speaking of stupid things, there was a comment on Facebook which was quite interesting, showing cognitive bias, I think.
Yes.
A guy saw the 100 million number and the 12 million number and thought that the system cost 100 million and it was saving $12 million a year.
Yeah.
And said, it'll take 10 years to pay for itself. What a waste of money. Yeah. So I think this is a great story. Like, it's interesting that some people just can't believe that these systems can pay for themselves in under 4 years. It's just such a smart application of solar.
Definitely.
It's good. It's good news that there's alternative storage to batteries.
These things work for shopping centres and so on. So big buildings, look into it if you have a big building, guys.
There was a company selling ones based on ice for residential. I don't know what happened to those.
The economics of just getting a big solar system on your roof are a lot better. Yeah. But maybe in the future they'll bring the cost down. Who knows?
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we?
Trump wanted to buy Greenland. That's probably old news.
That's pretty old news.
Yeah. But that's some real Lex Luthor stuff there. Do nothing about global warming and then try to buy Greenland. Except Lex Luthor would be smart enough to do it the other way around. Buy Greenland first, then melt the ice.
Good point.
And the new stuff he wants to use atomic bombs to stop hurricanes. That's confirmation bias for you. I like atomic bombs, therefore they must be useful for things. Anyway. More good news. India, bank finance has dried up for coal. So last year, banks rejected 90% of loans for coal development, and probably it's down to about 0% now this year. So news. Excellent news. Adani, their job site, guess how many jobs they want to build that big coal mine they're about to build any time.
To build? Yes. Construction?
Construction. How many jobs are they advertising, do you think?
20,000.
10. They have 10 jobs advertised on their site at the moment. So go make out You can draw your own conclusions from that. Anyway, let's go.
Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Till next week.
Bye.